watching India Today Global with me, Shita Mitra. It's Monday morning in the Indian capital, and at this hour, we bring you the latest from around the globe. Starting with West Asia, in another push for a ceasefire, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Tel Aviv amid ongoing violence. Hours after his arrival, Hamas accused Israel of undermining peace efforts, blaming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for delaying the deal. Now, in his 10th trip to the region since the war started last year, the top US diplomat will meet with senior leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And after Israel, Blinken will continue on to Egypt as a part of his West Asia tour. This as death toll in Gaza has crossed over 40,000, with about 25 people being killed and 72 others being wounded in the last 24 hours. Next up, Israeli police are investigating a bomb explosion in Tel Aviv that killed one person and wounded another. The identity of the deceased remains unknown, and authorities are considering the possibility of a terrorist attack. The explosion has raised security concerns, with Tel Aviv's district commander suggesting that a militant attack is more likely the cause. Moving to Russia-Ukraine war now, Ukrainian air forces have destroyed a key bridge over the same river in Russia's Kursk region, disrupting supply routes for Russian forces. Now, this strike is part of Ukraine's larger counteroffensive, which has seen the capture of about 80 settlements in the past week. Ukraine's president praised the operation, calling for faster military aid from allies as the conflict intensifies. While Russian President arrived in Baku for a two-day state visit to discuss bilateral relations with Azerbaijan's president, the talks are expected to focus on enhancing ties between the two nations and addressing regional and international issues, particularly the ongoing Azerbaijan-Armenian conflict. Now, the Kremlin has emphasized Russia's role and its commitment to facilitating the normalization of relations between the two countries. Key topics include the signing of a peace treaty, border delimitation, and the unblocking of regional transport and economic connections based on previous trilateral agreements. Now, moving to South China Sea, where the blame game continues between Manila and Beijing, China's Coast Guard has now accused a Philippine vessel of deliberately colliding with a Chinese ship in the disputed waters. The incident occurred near Sabina Shoal, with China condemning Philippines for violating agreements and provoking tensions in the region. Now, this clash is a part of a broader territorial dispute between the two nations, which has drawn international attention in the recent past. Another news from China now, Vietnam's newly appointed leader To Lam began his first official visit to the country, emphasizing on the importance of bilateral ties between the two countries. Now, during his three-day trip, Lam is set to meet with President Xi Jinping and other senior officials. This visit aims to balance Vietnam's diplomatic ties with China, US and Russia amidst ongoing dispute in the South China Sea. Next up, amid increasing threat from North Korea, South Korea and the US have launched their annual Ulchi Freedom Shield military exercise. This to bolster their readiness as North Korea races to advance its nuclear and missile programs. About 19,000 South Korean troops will take part in the exercise this year, with about 48 rounds of combined field training. The drills, which will continue until August 29th, focus on responding to missile threats, cyber attacks and other forms of hybrid warfare. Now, coming to the United States, demonstrations erupted in Chicago demanding Gaza ceasefire and reproductive rights ahead of Democratic National Convention. Thousands waving Palestinian flags criticized the US and its support for Israel, while highlighting the importance of abortion access. So, the demonstrations basically reflect the growing dissatisfaction among Muslims and Arab American voters, which is crucial to upcoming elections, especially for Democrats. Some 40,000 protesters are now expected to gather outside the convention on Monday, where President Joe Biden is due to speak and Harris will speak on Thursday. On to Bangladesh now. The country's interim leader Mohammad Yunus has now accused former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina of orchestrating a massacre before fleeing the country. Now, Yunus, addressing the diplomats, vowed to restore order and implement reforms to ensure the country can hold free and fair elections. He also called for international support and welcomed a UN-led investigation into the violence that has gripped the nation so far. And the last news of this segment, Sudan is experiencing a deadly cholera outbreak with about 22 deaths reported and hundreds of cases in the last week. The health ministry has declared an epidemic, linking the outbreak to contaminated water and adverse weather conditions. Now, the World Health Organization says that over 11,000 cholera cases with about 316 deaths have been reported in Sudan so far. The health body has also warned that the number of cases could be higher as the country grapples with the fast-spreading disease. Thank you so much for watching this segment. Stay tuned to India Today Global for more such news.